You know what that sound is, Tossie? They're popping champagne bottles in Miami because
Yeah.
there are no more undefeated teams in the NFL. The Chiefs have lost. They are 9-1,
Boo hoo.
and they are a blocked field goal away from being 8-2 as opposed to 9-1. So losing
Yeah,
two games in a row.
true.
Theoretically, should have lost that game against the
Hmm.
Denver Broncos. The football god said, "Nope,
Yeah.
we'll take it to Buffalo." And Buffalo, they didn't even make it. They didn't let it come down to fate or the refs or anything like that.
No.
Josh Allen said, "No, thank you. I will run that
Yeah.
in myself." And the
Josh,
Chiefs
baby. Here we go.
lost, and the Buffalo Bills were the first team to take them down this season. Props to the Bills. Hats off to you guys. The question is, after the Chiefs lost, which team is now the number one team in the AFC?
Yeah. It's got to be my guy, man. It's my quarterback. That's my quarterback. What I gotta say, Josh Allen, man, that guy put his team on his back. He's probably the MVP front runner at this point. Like he's come. Lamar lost to the Steelers this week, so they got to bring him down a notch, put the Steelers up a notch. But I think Buffalo's still the best team in the AFC after beating Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. So honestly, they don't got a lot, man. If you look at their team, it's like Josh Allen is doing this like almost on his own.
Remember at the beginning of the season,
Yeah,
everyone was like, "Oh, Buffalo's going to take a step down because they lost Stephon Diggs and they lost Jordan
yeah,
Poyer and they lost all these guys." And it's
yep,
like, no, dude, they are right where they were last year, maybe even better than they were
yeah.
last year.
He's having a great season. He's having an MVP season, and I think they're going to keep it rolling. I mean, they're on bye this week, so they get to rest. Kind of like in that glory of dethroning the Chiefs finally, and beating them. And taking away their perfect season, right? And
Yep.
then then they got the Niners at home coming off the bye, so the Niners get another team off the bye. So
Mhm.
great, that's going to be a loss. I already know that. So for the Niners, Buffalo's going to win that game for sure. And then and then after that, they've got some winnable matchups that go down the stretch, and they're going to be vying for the number one seed if the Chiefs slip up one more time.
Absolutely. But the question is also is that if the Bills are the number one team, does that mean the
Yeah.
Chiefs are the number two team? Because I would argue,
No.
I don't think so. I
Yeah.
think the Pittsburgh Steelers made a
Yeah.
very, very good case to be the number two team in the AFC. I mean, it just again, like talk about like how crazy this season is. Russell Wilson comes in the middle of the season after Justin Fields has been playing good football, not great football. Mike Tomlin says, "Nope, our plan was to always go with Russ. Russ was hurt. He was genuinely hurt. We weren't joking around when we were saying he was hurt. He really was hurt. We made
Yeah.
the switch. The Steelers have been undefeated since they've switched to Russell Wilson, and they've taken down some big teams,
Yeah.
and they took down the Ravens without scoring a single touchdown.
The defense, baby. We talked about it in our pregame.
That defense
Like,
is crazy.
yeah, the defense is legit. TJ Watt, Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, we've
Easy,
been talking about it. Like,
easy.
their defense is carrying them. Russell Wilson is like an upgrade over Justin Fields, so they're
Mhm.
actually getting some
For
production in the
sure.
offense, moving the ball. I bet
Yep.
if Justin Fields was the quarterback of that game, they probably wouldn't have won. Got to give it to Russ for being able to move the ball, get him into field goal range, and of course Chris Boswell making all those kicks. And if you had him in fantasy as your fantasy kicker, you were loving it because he got
Oh
like
yeah.
20 plus points. I think that was pretty good kicker game right there for everybody who has plays kickers in their fantasy leagues. But yeah, the Steelers legit team, legit contender. They've got I think that they've only lost 2 games this year, so
Yep. They've only lost two.
so they've got the same record as Buffalo. And they're 1 game behind the Chiefs for the number one seed as well. So
Mhm.
we'll see how things play out the rest of the year. There's still a bunch of games left. I think everybody's got either 6 or 7 games left. So we'll see how everything plays out at the end of the year.
That end of that December stretch of football is going to be fun because there's
Yeah,
a load of AFC teams that are all still in it in some way, shape, or form. I mean, the Bills and the Chiefs and the Steelers at this point are running away with it.
yeah,
They'll win their respective divisions, or well, I don't know. I don't know if the Steelers will win their division with the Ravens. We'll see about that one. But at least one of those teams, either the Steelers or the Ravens, will obviously win their division. Buffalo's winning their division, no question. Chiefs
Yeah.
most likely winning their division.
Yeah.
But then everything else, those wild card spots, those 3 wild card spots are going to be really, really interesting to see
Yeah.
who ends up getting them.
We talked. We didn't talk about the Texans who played tonight. I know that in the beginning there was a lot of hype about the Texans. I mean, they beat a Cowboys team that wasn't really,
Nope.
they're done. And Joe Mixon went off. So if you had him in fantasy, Joe Mixon, he had like 40 points. Man, he had a great game. But CJ Stroud really has taken a step back this year. Honestly, like he hasn't been as good. Granted, he doesn't have Stephon Diggs now because he got hurt, but he got Nico Collins back today, and he has Tank Dell and same weapons he had last year.
Exactly.
Still doesn't look that good. So, I don't know what's going on with CJ Stroud. He's kind of having a second year regression, but
he didn't have Stephon Diggs last year.
No, exactly. I mean? So yeah,
I don't necessarily look at that as an excuse per se. I think that it's regression, right? Like maybe defenses are figuring him out. Obviously, there's more tape on him, right? Second year. So there's all those things that like are working to his disadvantage, if you will, right?
Yeah.
And again, I think we have to NFL coaches for sure, they're doing their job, but I think we need to get over this idea of like once you're good, you're always good, or once you're bad, you're always bad. You're going to regress or you're going to get better, right?
Yeah.
That's just the nature of being an NFL player. Teams will figure you out, and then you have to like add new wrinkles to your game so that you can stay good. Look at Josh Allen. We're talking about him in like MVP conversation right now.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps forgetting the first like year or two, Josh Allen was not that great.
He was like, he couldn't even throw the ball.
He wasn't that great.
He would run the ball a lot, but he couldn't really throw the ball. And now
it took him getting a viable receiver like Stephon Diggs to break him out of that shell of being like a decent quarterback to a really good quarterback.
Yeah.
And then that's why everyone thought that once Stephon Diggs left, that he'd be like, okay. No, he learned a lot in those years of how to be a competent, if not excellent quarterback, and he's proven that this year.
Yeah. Josh for MVP, baby.